The 6 to 7 Figure Show, Episode 8. Ready? Let's hit it.
Broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun outside Phoenix, Arizona, this is the 6 to 7 Figure Show. Tired of working so hard and having no time? Take your six-figure practice and turn it to a thriving seven-figure enterprise. And now, your host, author, speaker, mentor, and strategist, Frank Bria.
Welcome to the 6 to 7 Figure Show. I'm your host, Frank Bria. Today, we've got a great hot seat conversation with Maggie Benson. And we are going to be talking about driving traffic to her business. And Maggie helps small business owners, especially women, female business owners, get up and running with WordPress. And so we're going to be talking specifically about how to pull that off in a way that is really attracting the right clients to her and driving traffic, frankly, to get her visibility. So it's a great conversation. If you want to continue the conversation about driving traffic, because that's what we're talking about this week in 7 Figures Plus. So pop on over to 7 Figures Plus. That's a free Facebook group. You can get access to that straight off of our homepage, frankbria.com. Right smack in the middle says join us at 7 Figures Plus. Get your invitation there. Or just come onto Facebook and search for 7 Figures Plus and request an entrance, and we will grant it. So hope to see you there. But before we go too much further, let's hop into this hot seat conversation with Maggie. And welcome, Maggie. Glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much, Frank. I do appreciate you having me on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. So tell us, Maggie, what are you up to? What's your business? What's keeping you busy these days?
Everything. I'm a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur, and a fellow podcaster. So I am a busy lady. My business is businesswithmaggie.com, and I'm still formulating the details of it, but essentially it will be tech resources for business entrepreneurs when they're first starting out. It'll be videos and training modules on how to figure out all the technical crap out there when you start to build an online business, because not everybody has that skill set. And I seem to have this natural ability to figure stuff out and to then pass that knowledge on to others and hopefully try to make their transition a little easier.
That's
and
awesome.
To save them time and energy from having to spend hours and hours and hours doing it, I do it for them. So I did that, and then that's 50%, and then the other 50% is my podcast myself, so that I interview other women entrepreneurs and specifically mothers, and they're balancing life with motherhood and business, and really we talk about whatever comes up.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what's the name of your podcast?
Small Business, Big World with Maggie May. And it's on iTunes and Stitcher.
Awesome. Okay. So let's and today we're going to talk about traffic, generating traffic, right? Okay. So tell me about that. What is that something you've tried before and had some success, not success? Like where is that for you now? If someone says, "How's traffic to your website, Maggie?" you would say,
"It's growing."
Okay, good.
Being quote unquote new on there, I'm not new to business, but my business itself is new out there.
Sure.
Trying to compete with the thousands of other businesses and websites and everything out there is challenging. So I have utilized mostly just Facebook. I did a couple ads more just to pop my cherry, so to speak, and get used to Facebook ads. And I spent a lot of time in Facebook groups specific to my avatar to try to understand them and also get my name and everything out there. So that's pretty much limited to what I have done.
So any of the messages that you've tried so far in your advertising that have worked, or even similarly, have you tried stuff that hasn't worked?
I don't think I've actually fine-tuned what has worked and what hasn't. I've probably been going out there and spamming's not the word, but spewing every single possibility, and I haven't sat down and really analyzed what is working and what isn't working.
Spewing is an awesome word.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I could say vomiting, but I think that was a little too visual.
Yeah, but it's a great word because it describes what a lot of people do when they're trying to drive traffic to their website or to anything in particular. Is they just kind of try a lot of different things. So let's hone in. So a couple of things that have to be in place for you to generate traffic. Number one, you've got to have a solid, rock solid message. Because if it's fuzzy or anything else, it is going to get lost. Like you noticed, you're competing against a lot of different messages. So for yours to cut through, it's going to have to be razor sharp and focused. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. And the second thing is that it has to be purposeful. So the traffic, the ask that you're making of users on the internet has to be very, very purposeful. So first question.
Yep.
You talked about technology. You help women entrepreneurs with technology.
Yep.
Is that accurate? Okay.
Yep.
Technology is a big, big space. Is there a focus for you?
Yes, I know it's a big space. I'm starting with WordPress because that seems to be the number one headache. Most of the women that I see and talk to, and I say see, I'm reading it, but they struggle with their websites. So that is where I'm starting, is using WordPress, because I'm a lover of WordPress and it's open source features and it's powerful, but helping bridge the gap and getting them out there with a great product.
Okay. And what specifically about, I'm gonna push you here, so just be aware. What specifically about WordPress do you do that's unique? Because again, lots of WordPress people out there.
See, and I'm struggling with exactly how to fine-tune that message, is how to niche down what I do.
Yep. So what's your, of the market that you work with, or the clients you're trying to attract, what's their biggest pain point around WordPress?
It's confusing. They don't understand what to do and how to get most of the time, I would say, because they're women, they are not focused on functionality. They are focused on aesthetics. So they want their logo to be in a certain spot. They want their brand colors to be in certain locations, and they are confused on how to execute that.
Okay. So confusion is a symptom of something. Because confusion in and of itself isn't painful. It's something else. So what would you describe as the real pain point? Like the thing that is keeping them up at night. In other words, your client isn't sitting up at night going, "Oh, I'm so confused. I'm so confused." They're worried about something else. What specifically are they worried about?
Could be a couple different things. Could be time, how much time it's taking, and taking that time away from focusing on their business itself, instead of, because distraction, so to speak, from their purpose by trying to build a website that they're then frustrated with and confused about.
Okay, so they're losing time, and losing time in turn causes what problem for them?
Loss of income, ultimately.
Okay. So I think that's the pain point. So I like to dig down, because in my opinion, people only buy stuff for one of four reasons. Okay, either to make money, to save money, to stay out of jail, or to have a better life. Like literally, those are the only four reasons that people buy stuff.
Nice.
Right. So what we need to do is we need to recast what you do in terms of one of those four things.
Right.
Because helping people be less confused about technology isn't a powerful enough
message,
call to action. But having them make more money is a powerful call to action. Now, it turns out it's still not powerful enough. So one of the things that's interesting is there's lots of make more money call to action out there, right?
Yep.
Lots of people who are like, "Oh, I'll make you more money."
Yep.
The problem is that people don't react to that anymore because
it's overused.
It's overused, and like, of course, I can make more money, right? If I just cold called all day long, I could make more money, or if I just did this or did that. So when I help clients fine-tune a unique selling proposition, what I ask them to do is to use a formula that I like to call benefit plus control. Okay? So what that means is benefit. You have to identify benefit. So, for example, making more money in your business is a benefit, right? But you have to control it somehow. So, for example, it's not enough to say make more money. It is interesting to say make more money in 90 days. Mm-hmm. Or make more money and have more time, right? Because these are things which kind of, they offset each other, right? They're kind of, you shouldn't be able to get both things at the same time. But by using this formula, it's really powerful because you're promising the benefit and controlling the thing that they're worried about.
Gotcha.
Right? So like, for example, really powerful examples of this are if you're a restaurant, for example, lower your food costs while increasing the level of satisfaction of your food, right? Yep. So it would be, I can lower the food costs by just buying crappy food. But no. We're going to control for quality. So that benefit plus control formula we want to put into place in your business because it's going to be the basis of all of the traffic that you drive.
Gotcha.
So what would be your control? What are you controlling? Yes, they're going to make more money, but they're going to make more money while
saving
what?
Time.
Saving time.
Yeah.
Okay. While saving time. So this is a way for them to make more money while saving time using WordPress.
Exactly.
Okay. Great. Super. Now, where do we, so we're going to take that message. We're going to refine it ever so slightly, but we're going to put it off to the side for a second.
Okay.
Where are we sending your traffic to?
My website.
Okay. I think that's a bad idea.
Okay.
So,
explain.
Here's why. Because most people do this, by the way. Most people send their traffic to their home page.
Yeah.
But your home page is the wrong place to send traffic. Okay. You need a landing page to send the traffic to.
Okay.
Okay. Now I know that you're probably like, well, that's what I meant, but it's really a big difference because if we have all of everyone go to businesswithmaggie.com, they're going to get all of your stuff, right? They're going to get the about you, they're going to get your great picture on the front, they're going to get all this stuff.
Yep.
But traffic, remember what I said, we've got to have a focused demographic and we have to have a focused call to action. And that call to action is going to get muddled on your homepage.
Gotcha.
So we need a landing page that's going to be very specific to this call to action. Now, I've gone through your website a little bit already, mm-hmm. and you have a great starting point with the language that you use around you have a WordPress sort of getting started package.
Yep.
Right?
Working on it.
Yep. So you've got some good starting language there that actually looks like a landing page. I mean, you've got sales letter copy that's kind of written down there. So that's really good. What we want to do is we really want to tighten it up.
Yeah.
So what do you want? What would be the very first thing that you want traffic to do when they come to your webpage?
I would say that the first thing I would want them to do is to subscribe to my a lead magnet so that I get their email and then can build the relationship.
Perfect. So you're going to get an email address from them. Okay. Yes. Have we thought about the lead magnet you want to give away?
Oh, I have 1,000 different ideas of what that could be. Not 100%. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, so let's think about it a little bit because it's going to matter how we get the traffic. So let's go back to our value proposition. We've got earn more money while giving you more time back using WordPress. How can you pull that off? How can you fulfill that promise?
Without actually getting them into the program?
No. Just I know. Tell me, money and product isn't an issue here. It's you're making a promise. Yep. Of course, they're going to have to buy something from you, but you're making a promise. How can you deliver on that promise?
In the forms of a lead magnet?
Nope. In the form of any of your services. I'm not talking about the lead magnet. Oh, okay. I'm talking about just generally, how can you fulfill that promise?
Video courses, step-by-step video is what comes to mind.
And your video teaches what?
Video would be teaching them how to place their logos, how to generate a logo, how to customize their branding colors, because ultimately that would be what my avatar would be focused on, I think.
So your avatar is somebody who is wants to get this done, but is going to do it themselves.
Yes.
Okay. So you're teaching them the shortcuts to getting this stuff done, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like a lead magnet for you would be like 7 time-saving tricks to get your website up and running.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yep.
Does that sound vaguely
Yeah. I had
attainable?
I had something along the same lines of, although you put more of a nice little sales spin on it, but in my head, just thinking of the product was the beginning steps to actually get WordPress up and going. Because some of my avatar that I listen to, they don't even know where to start when it comes to WordPress. They don't even know where to go and to get it set up. So that was where I was thinking of going with the lead magnet, or a lead magnet, was how to actually get into WordPress itself. Because a lot of people hear about WordPress, but then they don't know where to go. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's terrific. In fact, the time I mean, if you sat down and wrote down like a quick step-by-step tutorial of getting the thing set up, what you could do is you could structure that. I think a couple of things. First of all, lead magnet titles that have numbers lists in them are kind of compelling. Okay. So 7 steps or whatever.
Yep.
Another alternative way that you could do this is to say, here's your guide to getting WordPress set up in less than 15 minutes or whatever, right? I mean, again, numbers, specificity, it's compelling when you have that.
Yeah.
I do like the word secrets. It's just a really good word. People really respond to it. I mean, even people who understand it respond to it.
Yeah, if it works, don't change it.
That's right. And I think actually with your target market, they're not going to be as cynical, I think, about marketing language than some of us already are.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'll let you work on that lead magnet and kind of piece things together. But the idea here is to drive traffic to this lead magnet to collect email addresses, and then you've got a conversion process to actually get them to buy, right? All right. Now, let's think about how do we get people to your landing page. So you say you're on Facebook right now. What are you doing on Facebook right now?
Oh, I have my business page on there, and then I spend time in various Facebook groups that are specific to my potential avatars, and I offer advice and everything in there, but I also just listen. So sometimes I'm the silent stalker, just trying to get a better grasp of what could come up.
Okay, and then you said you've run some advertising too?
I ran some advertising, more just to kind of get a good grasp.
Try it.
Of Power Editor and how it works and the system. So I, signed up for lead pages and the integration, so I have a better understanding. It's kind of how my head works, is I need to understand how it works in order for me to figure out what I then need to do to make it awesome. So,
great. All right, so you have lead pages.
Yes.
Okay, so setting up a lead page through them, a landing page there, and driving traffic to it and connecting it to your website, you got that all under control.
Yeah, I've done that.
Perfect. Awesome. So, and then you mentioned in our conversation earlier about search engine optimization. Talk a little bit about that.
It pretty much is bang a head against the wall. I find it hard to get my keywords and everything down so that to actually be found on the search engines. As powerful as Google is, it's also almost not saturated, but it's so many options to come up. So I understand how to do it. If I were to do web design to Kelowna, that I can figure out because it's specific to a location. But trying to figure out SEO for a more general global level, I can't figure it out. Well,
the challenge with SEO usually comes up in two major areas. Okay, number one, if you're not focused enough in the audience and the ask, then SEO will never work. right? Because as you pointed out, it's easy when it's geographically local because then you can do some search engine optimization that's very particular to a local geography or something like that. But if it's bigger and broader and you haven't honed in on it yet, it's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, again, the ask. If the ask has to be very specific to the point where you could answer the question, what would your avatar be Googling to find you? So I'm going to pause for a second and see if you can answer that question.
It's going to be something along the lines of easy WordPress setup or something like that.
Okay. So the keyword easy and WordPress.
Easy and WordPress.
And setup.
Setup I'm 50-50 on, but easy and WordPress for sure.
Okay. All right. So you've got a couple of keywords that you can build SEO around, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's put that off to the side. There are 4 major ways of driving traffic to your landing page. Now remember, this is the whole point, right? Yep. We're driving traffic to your landing page, not your website.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first way is search engine optimization. Now here we actually don't drive traffic to your landing page. We drive it to a blog post, which in turn has your landing page as a content upgrade. Okay, a really good way to get people to go from blog post to opt-in is to create what's called a content upgrade. In other words, I'm going to teach you something, and then in order for you to use the thing that I just taught you, you need to get my opt-in. Okay.
Gotcha.
So if you're creating this tutorial guide of how to get WordPress set up, your blog post might be why WordPress is the easy choice to get your business off the ground.
Yep.
And then, oh, by the way, if you want to get it set up in 15 minutes, here's the thing, right? You see, That's a powerful upgrade, right? It's not spammy. Nope. It's not, what it does is it says, hey, you came here to read some good stuff. I'm going to teach you that good stuff. Now, if you want to actually put it into place, you might need some help, and here's some help.
I like it.
You see, it's a slightly different take on where to do that. And of course, you're going to put those opt-in boxes, strategically in the post, et cetera. And then you're going to do a lot of keyword research on the keywords that work. There, my recommendation would be go to Google AdWords, use the keyword research tool, try to see what people, which search terms people are using. Pretend like you were doing a Google AdWords buy.
Yeah.
And actually see what search terms are working, because that's going to give you hints as to which keywords you should be optimizing for. And since you use WordPress, then you're familiar probably with the plugins, Yoast and stuff like that give you search engine optimization inside that. Yeah. So those are great tools. They're really awesome. They're easy to use. They've got the little green lights that turn on, when you do the blog post correctly. Now, that's one way to do it. It may or may not work for you, by the way. Organic search engine optimization is slow and long term. Okay. Be prepared for that to be a long burn-in period and for you to get, slow traffic and start to build over time. Yeah. In order to do that correctly, what you want to do is you want to build what's called cornerstone content. These aren't blog posts in the traditional sense where, something happened last week. It was really cool. I want to talk about it. You want evergreen content that you're going to be able to write, and it's going to be good for a long period of time. Those posts generally are between 1,000 and 1,200 words. They're on the longish side. Some of them I've even seen go 2,000 words. These are going to be like your manifesto. And there's probably going to be 2 or 3 of them that you feel really strongly about after you've done your keyword research, and that's going to be your SEO strategy to get them to this landing page. Okay?
Yep. Gotcha.
All right. That is, but keep in mind, it's not immediate. It's a slow, organic growth process. All right. The second major way of getting traffic is social media. Okay. So you're on Facebook. You've got a business page, right?
Yep.
You're on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, right?
Yep.
So these are all other ways for you to be putting out stuff. Here, again, you're going to be posting content. And here on social media, I follow the 80-20 rule. Okay, 80% of your stuff should be non-salesy, 20% of your stuff should be salesy, and that gives you the opportunity to build up a fan base who's interested in seeing your stuff. You need to build over time this credibility and authority with your audience, build it up slowly, and then when you post something on social media 20% of the time, which drives traffic to a landing page, then they go there.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
Again, slow and long term. So, but it is a perfectly good way to do it. So if you're using Facebook, if you've got a Facebook business page, start posting content there. The Facebook algorithm now is such that you're going to be given bonus points for your content if it's shared.
Right.
So you want to put something out there that's not overtly salesy that no one would share. You want to put something on there, even if it's not specifically business related, that's going to get your fans to click share. When they do, more of your stuff actually goes into the timeline of your fans. So that's a way to utilize that. Again, slow, steady growth in that area. Okay. The third thing you can do is buy advertising.
Yep.
So, a couple of places. It looks like Facebook has been a place that you've gone before. If you've got groups that you participate in, and you've done research in them, and you know that they're pretty good, that they're your avatar, then Facebook might be a good place for you to do some limited ad buys to test. And again, we're going to be generating that Facebook ad to go to your landing page. Now, if you're using lead pages, my recommendation is that you go ahead and install the WordPress plugin for lead pages so that you're hosting that lead page on your own website. Facebook likes to see the domain name kind of carry over, right? Then that allows you to test the very specific message. Facebook ads that have images that would normally show up in timelines tend to do the best. In other words, you got to think about where this ad is sitting in your audience, right? They're looking at their timeline, like their friends' photos, their vacation pictures, whatever. People are putting funny videos. That's what's in their timeline. Your ad can't stick out like a sore thumb, right? It's got to look like it belongs. So use images with people. Use images that look like that don't look overly stock photo. That look like, and maybe with you, but look like something that would show up in a Facebook timeline. That's what you want to look at. That's actually one of the reasons why Facebook doesn't want more than 25% of the image to be text, because that's not something people would normally stick in your timeline, right?
Right.
So make sure you've got that headline, really strong call to action with the title of your opt-in, and tell people that they can get it there for free. Right, that's a really good, solid way to use Facebook advertising. Have you played around with the audience demographic stuff in Facebook yet?
Mostly just the interest part of it, a little bit of the audience part of it, but trying to focus and set the ad to, say, an interest specific. So like someone else's Facebook page or a TV show or something like that.
Yep. Okay, so that's a great way to go. The other way is if you already know that there are fan pages of other people who your avatar are following, you can actually target those specific people. Yeah. So that's another way to do it. And you're going to want to, and again, this is why getting that target demographic is so important, because you want to get that audience down so that your numbers are not enormous. Because the bigger those numbers are, strangely enough, a lot of people think, oh, I've got a big audience, it's going to go out to a lot of people. That's not the way it works. You want that audience down to probably somewhere in the 50,000 range.
Okay.
So really hone in.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Hone in very, very tightly. Now, this is for, reasonably small media buys. Obviously, if you're spending $100 a day on Facebook advertising, it's a different story. Yep. But for most small businesses, you really want to hone and focus and be tight in your audience selection.
Gotcha.
And so go ahead and play with the interests and the psychographics of the audience, because that's going to that's going to allow you to have a better targeted ad. And you don't have to pick just one, right? You can do several. But say, for example, that you have something with moms, right?
Yep.
So you focus in on because you can have females, parents with small children, right? Entrepreneur.
Yep.
So you can create that audience, focus it in really tightly, and then of course your ad is probably going to have a picture of a kid, right?
Yep.
And it's going to be like, taking time away. It is setting up your website, taking time away from your family.
Yeah.
Like you see what I mean? We want to like hit the pain point by understanding those client profiles very, very carefully. So,
Okay.
Understanding that avatar, telling a story about it, understanding the pain point, building an ad very specific to that pain point is very effective.
Yeah.
All right. That's 3. The Facebook ads go fast, but you pay money for them, right? So that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
It's the old adage, it's good, fast, cheap, pick any two. So you get fast and good, but you don't get cheap with Facebook ads. Not that they're that expensive, but you do pay money for them.
Of course.
All right, 4th way to drive traffic. And this is the one I think people forget. But you're doing half the work right now anyway. And that is plain old personal one-on-one reaching out to people.
Networking.
Yep. Now, what you're doing when you're in these Facebook groups and you're offering help is that you're getting yourself out there as someone who is helpful, right?
Yep.
The problem is that we need to convert them into your prospects, right, from wherever they are. Now, we have to be cautious about how to do that because you can't just march into a Facebook group and start posting your landing page everywhere. But since you're already engaging in conversations with helping people, you can easily follow up. And I've rarely seen this be a problem in anyone's Facebook group. So if someone asks a question, you post and answer the question, and they're like, Maggie, that was really awesome. Thanks so much for your help. You follow up with, hey, no problem. I happen to have this list of, ways to get your Facebook or your WordPress site up and running in 15 minutes or less. It just happens to be here in case you're interested, right? Because you now have a very focused offer, you have something to say. Instead of saying, well, check me out on my website, that's not a strong call to action. But by following up on these technical things, you're able to go ahead and nicely and not in a salesy way position your lead magnet as a value add to the conversation. And when you do that 2 or 3 times after you've engaged in a conversation, it's totally fine. Or if you're not comfortable posting it publicly, then you have a personal message. So, hey, jump on to a Facebook chat with me, and I'd love to discuss it with you further.
Yeah.
Now you can do that easily. But you're already spending your time doing that, and we just need to add this last step.
Yeah. And I wasn't
that actually is driving traffic.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people aren't because, number one, they are scared to, frankly.
Yeah.
Number 2, because they don't have a specific offer to make, and so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, just come to my website isn't a good enough offer.
No.
And the third is that you have to have this really targeted avatar in your head. Otherwise, you're spewing, right? You're spewing your lead magnet everywhere without a really good place for it to go.
Yeah. And fine-tuning that avatar is hard because you can see where you can benefit many people. So, yeah. And I think a lot of business people struggle with that.
This is like, I'll tell you, the very first thing I talk with most of my clients is getting this focus correct. But I'll tell you a story, and this story was relayed to me by Anna Malikian, who's the head of coach training for Michael Port. Brilliant woman, PhD psychologist, like brilliant woman. She gives this example where you take a nightlight, right? So it's like a 5-watt bulb, right? Nightlight, and if you plug it in the middle of the day in a crowded room, you won't even see it lit, right? It's just barely noticeable, right? But that 5 watts is the power that goes into that light bulb. That same 5 watts, if you take the light, because a night light is basically spewing light everywhere, right?
Right.
But if you take those light rays and you focus them all in one direction, what you get is a laser, right? A 5-watt laser will blow a hole in the wall.
Nice. I like that analogy.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the same power that it takes to diffuse this nightlight so badly that you don't even see it anymore versus that power to actually blow a hole in the wall. That's the power of focus. So a lot of people say, oh, but I don't want to give up on these other potential market areas because I might not be able to. I'm giving away opportunity. But the problem is that unless you're specific enough, you don't even have the opportunity to begin with. Right? And by being so focused, not only do you come across as the specialist, right? So if I belong to your avatar group and I notice that you're the specialist, of course I'm going to hire you. I'm going to hire you above a generalist, right? I want somebody who specializes in what I do. The other thing it does is it allows you to charge more because you're the specialist.
Gotcha.
So when you do the math, you come out better, even if you give away those other opportunities for now. And the other thing to remember is that a target market is not permanent.
Yeah, I think that is a false perception, definitely, that I've had. It's like, okay, I've picked it and I'm there forever.
Yep. Traffic generation is an advertising campaign. An advertising campaign has a start and an end. Now, you may not have defined the end at this point, but it has a start and an end. And so, therefore, you are defining who you're going after for this very specific campaign.
Right.
That's it. Awesome. That's it. No more. No more, no less. So it allows you to give yourself some freedom to make some choices for this particular campaign and learn. Because you're going to learn that some of what you decided worked and some didn't work. And, you know, that's what business is all about. It's learning from those outcomes and then turning and going in a different direction.
Right. Awesome.
So I highly recommend, I think you should do, if I had to prioritize these 4 things for you, okay? Number 1, and of course I don't know what your immediate intent with the traffic generation, but I'm just assuming you're trying to build business as quickly as you can, okay? So if I had to order these from top to bottom, I would say you should spend the vast majority of your time with this individual reach out. Because this outreach, this networking, because even though you're doing it one at a time, based on how much time you're spending on Facebook and these other groups, you could probably sign up 3 to 5 people a day. Gotcha. Okay, that's a pretty good clip, by the way. The second thing I would do is, if you have the budget, I'd focus on Facebook advertising. It's effective, done well. It can really drive traffic, and of course, depending on your budget, you could be signing up a number of different people. Now, I don't know your market, and your mileage may vary, but you should think that it should cost you somewhere between $2 to $7 per email address. Okay.
Gotcha.
I know that's a big range, but it's really going to depend on your ad copy and your all that good stuff, and how targeted you are. The more targeted you become, the less it costs you to acquire people.
Gotcha.
And then after that, I would say social media and SEO in that order. SEO is going to take you some time because you're going to need to write some really good content pieces for that. And again, it's slow. I don't like building businesses on SEO. I don't mind putting businesses on autopilot with SEO. Yeah. But then, you have to do the work around that. It's a different business model. I think you're going to see the biggest traction from those first 2, and then you're already on some of your social media, so you certainly should use that as an opportunity to advertise your lead magnet when you get a chance.
Awesome. I love it, Frank.
How's that?
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions or any way I can help you implement that, or have I given you enough to go do?
No, my brain is saturated.
Okay, good. All right. We'll call it quits right there. Then.
I need to go process. So
okay, good.
And tons of valuable information. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. So, all right. Well, this gives you some stuff to go work on. When you get that lead magnet up, let us know.
Okay.
Like, drop us a line. Let us know how that's going so we can check in on you, see how things are going.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Maggie, for spending time with us. I wish you the best of luck in getting that up and running and driving great traffic. It sounds like you've got a great value proposition. Hone it, focus it, drive it home.
Will do.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us, Maggie.
Oh, I totally appreciate it. Thanks for the help, Frank.
You got it.
That's all the time we've got today, but it's been tons and tons of information that we've been talking about not just driving traffic, but
client profiles and lead magnets and getting it all right. All of that stuff needs to come together, and I think Maggie's got a lot of work to do. But that's great, because she's going to come out at the end of that exercise much better off, ready to start driving ideal clients to her all day long, even when she's asleep. So that's what this is all about. Join us in the conversation at 7 Figures Plus. That's our free Facebook group. If you want, however, to implement these effective strategies in your business, that's what we're doing in the Mastermind, the Scale Mastermind. You can check us out there at frankbria.com/mastermind and jump on over into where we're actually getting stuff done. Sure, you can come talk about it. Let's engage in 7 Figures Plus. That's free. But if you're serious about getting stuff done in your business, the place to be is the Scale Mastermind, frankbria.com/mastermind. That's where you want to be. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining us. Next week, we are jumping into building your platform, and we're going to talk about how do you find the right authority platform for your business that's going to help you build authority and credibility with your audience. That's what we're going to focus on next week. So, join us next week for that, or in the meantime, join us at 7 Figures Plus. frankbria.com/mastermind is where all the good stuff's happening. And until then, we will see you next time. I've been your host, Frank Bria. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will catch you on our next episode. Until then, make it happen.